editing, and I've been editing for a couple of days. I'm on a retreat out west while my daughter goes to cross-country camp, and my goal every day, I've been trying to edit 10 chapters. I've done 4 chapters so far today, so we are going to work on the next chapter. And I have these lovely edits from my editor, and I feel like editing is very solitary, very boring. But I'm going to try to edit out loud. I don't know if this will work, so that you can kind of be a part of this editing journey with me. So, what I'm editing right now is what I'm calling a dyszombian. It's a dystopian zombie mashup. So, okay. Where is the end of this chapter? Familially, okay. Biggest strength. Okay, awesome. I've got 11 pages of notes here from my amazing editor. I just took a shower because I needed to take my contacts out because they were hurting my eyes. Okay, notes. Go. This chapter is doing one thing and it's doing it very well. Amari's certainty is beginning to crack. Not her trauma, not her distrust, her certainty, and that's a huge distinction. Up until now, every man is fit neatly into one category in her mind. David is becoming the first exception, and she hates it. Okay. Biggest strength. The chapter opens with, I want to be angry with him. Not, I am angry with him. That's important because subconsciously she already knows she's losing that battle. Okay. Looks like the chapter is strong. Opening paragraph, current. He's an ass, full stop. Editor's note, perfect, keep this. Because the rest of the chapter becomes a desperate attempt to prove that statement. And she keeps accidentally disproving it. Yay! Captain meeting. This is where I have my biggest note. He told me it was nothing important. Okay, let me find that line in the manuscript. He told me it was nothing important. Okay. Editor note. Excellent, because David genuinely thinks he's protecting Grace, protecting the company, reducing panic. Amari hears you're too fragile to know. Neither interpretation is wrong. That's why the conflict works. Okay, so my editor didn't actually tell me to change anything. He just commented that he likes it, okay? Red roll. I didn't mean to notice that. Excellent, classic Amari. The stronger the emotion, the more she pretends she wasn't paying attention. Okay. There's that scene. Hi, hello, sorry. Trying to read things from way down there. Wish there was a way to set this up where I could read it better. Okay, now I can read it better. Simone exploded. I'm sorry about that. Hi from Heidelberg, Germany. Hello, Richard from the United States. I'm from the United States. So hello from the United States. Okay, this section, currently checking if she's eaten enough, if she's cold, if she's tired. My editor says, excellent observation list. These are exactly the things Amari would notice. Not he's kind, not he's loving, but specific actions. That's much stronger. Okay, good. We're all good so far. Father. It's the kind of thing a father would do. Okay? Editor says that's good. She's subconsciously comparing David to the safest man she ever knew, her father. That's a massive step. Yep, I just started the live stream. I always forget to do live streams because as an author, my work is usually on a computer and it's rather boring to watch. But everyone tells me I should be doing live streams. So here we go. I'm live streaming as I edit. Isn't it exciting? You can't even see my computer. You can either look at the computer or you can look at me. So we're going for looking at me. You like my masculine jawline. Yeah. That's pretty awesome that this is the most masculine jawline you've ever seen. That's hilarious. Cool. You're from the US serving in Germany. Serving in the military? What kind of serving are you doing in Germany? Okay, continuing on, because I am supposed to be editing on this live stream. Cool, cool. Sometimes my editor catches things I didn't even notice, like that she's comparing David to her father. This line, current, I wish he was. Where is that? I wish he was. He's not a monster. I wish he was. Okay, found it. Says one of the strongest lines in the chapter. Keep, because that's the real conflict. Not is David good, but what if he is? Okay, good. Serving in the army. Cool, cool. What are you doing in Germany? I know they have a hospital there. What are you doing there? Contradiction. Current. Stone on the outside. Good. Make this less polished. Okay. Let me find stone on the outside. Okay, I found it. This is one of the places Amari starts sounding slightly too analytical again. She feels more like I don't understand him than he is a contradiction. Okay, so what is he telling me to edit? Okay, all I can see is this frustrating contradiction of a person. Okay, that's too polished, he's saying. Okay. I don't understand him, so we'll just change it to that. I don't understand him. Do I leave the stone part? Yeah, we'll just say he's stone on the outside, but underneath there's something too close to tenderness. Okay? Yep, we'll leave that. Grace, this whole section works. Grace doesn't talk. Okay. One opportunity, this might be the first place Amari notices something special about Grace. Maybe how observant she is, how she communicates without words, how the other kids naturally follow her, something small. Because Grace's eventual voice in book 3 is going to matter enormously. Okay, so I need to make a change right here. Let's put in here that Amari notices that even though Grace is small and has no voice, she's very observant and very communicative. So right here, okay, let's just make that change. Have Amari notice something special about Grace. Let's see. How am I doing? Hello, the dead rabbit. I'm doing well. Just working on edits for my dystopian that's releasing in October. I want to get the edits done soon because I want to get early reader copies ordered of the book so that people can read it. 3rd Battalion, 4th Infantry. And thank you for your service. I hope you're well. I hope that you are doing all right away from home and not suffering from any afflictions. Okay, let's see what my editor says here. It's a great opportunity to show why Grace eventually becomes such an important character. Amari is a future doctor. She observes people. She'd naturally notice that Grace isn't simply the mute girl. Okay, so let's say Grace notices everything. Yes, Grace notices everything. Let's add that into here. Grace doesn't talk. Don't know what happened when the disasters hit. Okay, let's put this she notices everything right here. Grace notices everything though. Flick of someone's eye. I have an itch to know what happened to her. But I never will because that would require striking a conversation with David. And that I won't do. My day is going quite well. I have edited 4 chapters so far today. This is chapter number 5. Are any of you guys readers? Because I am an author and I write books like most authors do. Lila and Iris. Okay, Iris. Who's Iris? Iris is Blake's sister. She's a few years younger than me. Okay. Okay. No, like I write books, you know, writing books. It's a WRITING. Hello, Barney Carroll. Amari desperately needs girlfriends. Okay. Yep. Otherwise, the story risks becoming Amari and David arguing for 40 chapters, and the book is literally 50 chapters long. I write all kinds of basically slow burn romance. All kinds. High school, fantasy, horror, dystopian, historical fantasy. As long as it has a slow burn romance, I write it. Okay, expand slightly. I miss Hannah. Okay, where do we have that? Hannah is the person Amari actually chose. Okay, let's expand. Because she does. She misses Hannah. So let's expand right here. Because it's still day 1. Day 1 on their journey. Their journey into the unknown. Sure, I have several books that are out, and several that are on pre-order because they haven't released yet. My most popular series is the Guardian Angel Academy series, and it is kind of a mashup of Supernatural meets Harry Potter. I wrote it for all of the people of my age who loved Harry Potter when they were younger, but now we've grown up, and Harry Potter's a little, a little less mature than what we actually want to read, but we still enjoy that fantasy world. We still enjoy the structure of going to school and having teachers and powers and learning how to use those powers and fighting the bad guys and all that stuff. So, Guardian Angel Academy is my #1 series. It's been my most best-selling series other than my children's books, which my children's books do sell quite well, but I don't think that's going to be your genre. So Guardian Angel Academy would be the one I recommend. And it's very much a supernatural angels and demons learning how to fight other supernatural creatures. So yeah, check that one out if you like reading books. And you are fine to talk to me. That's why I set my phone up right here, because writing and editing are very solitary. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to go crazy. I mean, I rented this little space all to myself. It's a little 1-bedroom apartment. I rented it for 4 days so that I could just come and work. But after 3 days of being all by myself, I start to go crazy. So that's why I started the live, so you can keep me company while I'm editing. So feel free to talk to me, and I will tell you what I'm working on as we go through. But yeah, if you like to read, then that's the #1 I recommend. If you are into high school romance and college romance with no magic, anything like that, and some people are, then my Cassandra Jones series is the one that sells the best for the non-magic, the muggle audience, the people that just want to read something that's just straight up life with romance. I don't think you're taking up anyone's time. Barney Carroll 5240. I'm happy to answer questions when I am not a super talkative person, which is why these lives can be very hard for me, unless you start asking me about my books. And then I become very, very talkative because I really like my books. Anyway, so let's fix this scene with Hannah. I wonder what she thought when I didn't show up at the sick house today. Okay, let's expand on this. My editor says we need to see a little bit more grief here. So let's talk about how she'll pretend not to worry. She'll reorganize supplies. What does Hannah feel for me? I wonder if Amari would wonder that. I never even told her I loved her. No, what do you think? Is Hannah going to notice? I'm sure she did. I'm sure she pretended not to. She must wonder why I left without telling her. Okay, and then let's put the last line. I never even told her I loved her. It's such a good line. I really like that line. Okay, let's see. It's nice to meet you too. Okay, so we expanded that scene. Hannah. Dread clings to me like sweat. Okay. My editor says I have a problem with repetition. Right here. Okay. I keep looking for him. I keep hearing the way he said it. She's my wife. Okay. All right, so we need a fresh observation here. Says I'm doing the same thing over and over again. So let's change this. All right. This exact emotional beat. Okay. So in this beat, okay, I keep hearing. Okay. Let's just work on that whole thing. The next step in Amari's progression should be curiosity. Okay, let's take a look where this fits. Tonight's coming. Don't know where we'll camp. I keep hearing the way he said it. My wife. Let's shorten that. Okay, now we're going to add a few paragraphs here. Congrats, Tyler. Happy for you. Hi, Jerry. My day has been lovely so far. I stole away from home so that I could rent a little apartment and edit my book. So that's what I'm doing right now, is editing my book. And you guys get to edit it with me, even though I'm sure it's quite boring for all of you guys, just sitting there staring at me as I stare at my computer. Okay, like he cared that I was insulted. This is the emotional center. Not he cared about me, he cared that I was hurt. Okay, so do we leave it the way it is? Okay, where am I putting this? All right, I'm looking for he cared. Okay, where is this line? Okay. Okay, so let me see. I don't think that sentence should go there. Okay. So I don't think we're actually changing anything right there. The book that I am editing right now is called Beneath the Burning Sky. It is the first book in a dystopian zombie mashup. I'm calling it a dis-zombian. I think I'm so clever. And it is the first in a trilogy. There will be 3 of them. I have written one of them, and that's the one I'm currently editing. I have outlined the other 2 books, so I know where the story is going. I need a drink of water. And my water's holding up my phone, so we're gonna move the phone for a moment. It's so dry here. I had to take my contacts out because they were hurting my eyes. It's just so dry. Okay. Anyway. Yep. Trying to stay hydrated. So that's the name of the book, Beneath the Burning Sky by Ruby Valladares, which is Valladares for those of you who don't speak Spanish. And the trilogy is called the Ashfall trilogy. So that is what I'm editing right now. And I hope to have the book done very soon, like in the next week, because the edits I got back when you publish a book, it goes through several levels of edits. And the edits I just got back last week were from my developmental editor. And that's the big picture editor, where they go through like the entire book looking for consistency, looking for where the characters don't stay in character, looking for where you forget something in the world, looking if maybe chapter 8 should be moved to chapter 2, if chapter 17 doesn't belong. So the developmental edit is huge. So I got those edits back a week ago, less than a week ago. And this book is about 50 chapters long. That might change, but right now it's 50 chapters long. So, in order to tackle all these edits, I felt like I couldn't stay at home where I had my family and other distractions. So, I got an apartment and I came here for 4 days and I'm working on this book. And I'm not going to get it done in 4 days. It's just too much. But I'd like to get it done. I'd love to get it done in like 7 days. I'd love to get it done in the next week because then I need to send it to my next editor. And the next editor is my line editor. And this edit should take care of all those big picture things so that it should flow very smoothly by the time I send it to my next editor. And she will be able to just go through and make sure that I didn't use the word sunset too many times, that I didn't describe everything as orange too many times, that I didn't change the hair color of one of my characters, just little things like that. And then the book will be ready to make advanced reader copies, which those are copies that I get printed before the book is published to the public. And I send those books out to readers who can read it, give me their feedback. If they hated it, they can tell me. If they loved it, I really want them to tell the world so that when the book actually comes out in October, people are already talking about it. There's already a buzz. There's already some excitement for the book that's coming out. So that's where I am in the timeline. Right now I'm working on the developmental edit. And sure, Dan, was that your name? Dan V? I would love to hear one of your limericks, but I can't hear you, so you'll probably just have to type it on there and I can read it out loud for everybody. But thank you for wishing me well. And thank you, Jerry. I also very much hope things go in my favor. This is a new genre for me. I have never published anything in the horror slash dystopian genre. I hope so much that it will be received really well and that it will make me lots of money. That's really what I want, is to make lots of money. That's what we all want, right? It's not usually what happens to authors, but I want to get lucky. I really want to get lucky. So, lucky with my books. Okay, final paragraph. Biggest revision note right here. Okay, so part of me wants to believe. Okay. All right, so we're supposed to change something. Keep wishing he'd stop looking at me that way. So which one is it going to be? I don't quite understand the notes my editor wrote here. Okay, because if I name it, then I have to accept that part of me wants to believe someone would choose me. So I'm stuck with this storm in my chest. Anger, confusion, something I don't want to name. Okay. And then we have 2 lines. I keep wishing he'd stop looking at me that way. I keep wishing he would look at me that way again. So do I leave both lines in there? Okay, I'll do it for now. I'll see what I think of it when I read it again. All right, we need a reminder. My editor says put a reminder of this dystopian world. Okay, where? Ash falling onto the page. And what? She just brushes it off. Okay, we'll put. We're still stopped for lunch. I had to wipe the ash out of the binding of this notebook because the pages wouldn't turn. All right, I guess that's fine. My Spanish friend lost his car yesterday. Uh-huh. That's funny. Okay. This chapter is the first time Amari starts grieving an idea. The idea that all men are monsters has protected her. Because if all men are monsters in the world makes sense, David is becoming evidence against that belief, and that terrifies her more than E5 ever could. That's the real story happening underneath this entry. Okay. Replace the final paragraph, self-awareness, with something messier and more emotional. Okay. All right. So we're going to replace the final paragraph with something messier. Okay, because the final paragraph didn't make sense to me. So now I'm stuck with a storm in my chest. Let's see what we come up with. Sure, sticker gift, whatever. Okay, more raw. Okay. Anger, confusion, something I don't want to name. Okay, great. Actually, I like that revision. Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, great. Now let's read through it. You get to listen to me as I read. Ah, okay. I'll go ahead and read it to you from here. Put the phone right here. Okay, let's read. This is the chapter I just edited. Let's see. Who is you? Who am I? I am an author. Right now, I am working on the first book in a zombie post-apocalyptic trilogy that will start releasing in October. It's called Beneath the Burning Sky by Ruby Valladares. For those of you who don't speak Spanish, that is Ruby Valladares. Yeah, it's totally a mashup. It's like Hunger Games meets The Road meets The Walking Dead. And it's a slow burn romance. So, yes, it's all the things because I have a bit of an obsession with zombies. But I also like romance. So, why not combine the two? Okay, entry 10. I want to be angry with him. He's an ass. Full stop. The captain called a meeting and said one representative per family had to attend. David went naturally. He's always shoving to the front of the line, acting like he belongs in charge of something. When he came back, he brushed right past me. Didn't say a word. I asked him, calmly even, just asked what the officials said. He told me it was nothing important, like I'm some child. Like I haven't survived more than he probably ever will. Like I haven't had to claw my way out of worse than whatever was discussed in a captain's tent. I should hate him for that. But then I saw him hand over his bread roll to Grace. No hesitation, just slipped it from his tin into her hand like it was instinct. Like he's used to going without. I didn't mean to notice that. Didn't mean to see the way he watches her when she's not looking, checking if she's eaten enough, if she's too tired, if she's cold, or how he scanned the camp when she wandered too far, eyes already calculating the threat before there was one. It's the kind of thing a father would do, or a big brother, I guess. I wouldn't know. What I do know is that I hate that I saw it, because it means he's not a monster, not entirely. I wish he was. It would make it easier to hate him. Cleaner. I don't understand him. He's stone on the outside, but underneath there's something too close to tenderness. It makes me want to scream. It makes me remember things I try not to. We're still stopped for lunch. I had to wipe the ash out of the binding of this notebook because the pages wouldn't turn. The wagon creaks every time someone shifts their weight. I'm sitting on the edge, legs dangling. There are so many thoughts in my head, I swear they're fighting for space. If I don't get them out, I'll implode. Or worse, let them leak out in ways I can't control. Grace and the other children chase each other in circles, laughing like they're not in the middle of a death march, like they haven't lost anything. Grace doesn't talk. I don't know what happened when the disasters hit, but it must have been terrible to break her that way. She notices everything, though. A flick of someone's eyes, a tightening jaw. She catches conversations before anyone speaks, reading faces the way other people read books. Sometimes I think she understands people better without words than most of us ever did with them. I have an itch to know what happened to her, but I never will, because that would require striking a conversation with David, and that I won't do. The captain's wife is named Lila, and she's friendly. Iris is Blake's sister. She's a few years younger than me. They introduced themselves to me, and I needed someone to talk to. Someone who didn't look at me with judgment or suspicion. I didn't realize how starved I was for companionship until they made room for me in their circle. I miss Hannah. Her strict composure, her organization, her compassion. I wonder what she thought when I didn't show up at the sick house today. Did she worry? I'm sure she did. I'm sure she pretended not to. She'll reorganize supplies that don't need organizing, rebraid her own hair because no one else will think to do it. She'll keep working because that's what Hannah does when her heart is breaking. I chose her. No one told me to trust her. No law bound us together. She simply walked into the worst season of my life and somehow, without either of us noticing, became my person. She must wonder why I left without telling her. I never even told her I loved her. Dread clings to me like sweat. Tonight's coming. I don't know where we'll camp. I don't know if the officials will post guards or just hope the fear of exile keeps us in place. I don't trust them. Least of all him. But I keep looking for him. I keep hearing the way he said it. My wife. I can't get it out of my head. I hated it in the moment. I hated that his voice had weight and mine didn't. But I also didn't hate the way he stood in front of me, like he cared that I was insulted. No one's done that in a long time, not without wanting something in return. But something keeps bothering me. It wasn't what he said, it was what happened after. He never looked around to see who had witnessed it, never puffed out his chest, never waited for me to thank him. He didn't even ask if I was all right. He just told me we were leaving, like getting me away from E5 mattered more than winning the fight. I don't understand that. Every man I've known who defended a woman made sure she knew she owed him for it. David walked away before I could say anything at all. So now I'm stuck with this storm in my chest. Anger, confusion, something I don't want to name. I want him to leave me alone. I want him to stop saying. I want him to stop looking at me. I want him to look at me again. I hate that all of those things can be true at the same time. Okay, no, I'm not reading the whole book. I'm just reading you the chapter I just edited because I just edited this chapter with you guys on here. So I actually really hate reading out loud. It's really uncomfortable for me. But I figure since you just endured 40 minutes of watching me edit my book, you deserve to hear the chapter we edited. Because you did it with me. You collaborated with me, right? Because you said hello to me while I was editing. Okay, that's it. I'm done talking to you guys. I'm going to end this. I'll try to remember to hop on some other time and do a live, but they just feel so boring. You're just staring at me while I stare at my computer. And everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm editing. Isn't this exciting? So, yeah, I'm sure I'll do it again. But thanks for hanging. You can follow my channel because I'm always posting about my books. I'm always writing books. And I do post free audio of my books. If you like audiobooks, you can find them here on my channel too. So, and that's not me having to read it to you. It's a lot less awkward. Yeah. Okay. I'll catch you guys another time.